Microeconomics. I have an announcement to make for our class. That's either going to make it more fun and interesting and better, and you can work at your own pace, or you're all going to complain to me. I don't know which. I'm hoping it's the former, not the latter. So let's click on the class. And you'll see right here, I'm about to make live this thing called Hawk's Learning. So I click on that. And I want to take out the sync tool because that's just for me. But you have a single sign-on here for Hawks. What is Hawks Learning? I've been getting emails from this company called Hawks Learning saying, "Dear Professor, for the remainder of the school year, anyone that wants to use our online tools and textbooks can use it for free." And I got enough emails that it piqued my attention, so I wrote them back and I said, "Tell me about it." And they have a very nice microeconomics module or course that uses the same textbook we use. All the homeworks are online. All the quizzes, and they also have quizzes that are online. So what I've decided to do for the remainder of this semester is to move our platform over there. We're using the same book. The next exercises you'll do will be the next chapters on perfect competition. And each section of the book has a learning and mastery section. You read through the book, you answer some questions, you master it, you get a score of 80 or more, and you move on to the next one. So those are all going to replace our homeworks and be worth 10 points. You don't have to turn anything in, you don't have to do any, you can use calculators, but you enter it directly onto the Hawk system. And also, at the end of each section, there's a review, which I've made extra credit for another 10 points if you want. And those of you that feel like you're maybe not doing as well in the course might want to take advantage of that. And those weekly, those textbook section homeworks, you can do them as many times as you want. Then at the end of each chapter is a quiz. You can do the quiz twice. And I think the quiz are worth 15 points. We'll check when we get into it, and I'll show you. So how do you sign up? There's no cost to you, which is a good thing. But even if I use it next fall, it costs $40 per student, which even with our free book, it might be something we want to do if we end up online again. So I go to single sign-on. And of course, we're looking at my view. If you click on any of these, your name and email and everything is already in the Hawk system. So this is my class, BSE 2212, Principles of Microeconomics. If you click on anything that's clickable, you're automatically registered for the class. Isn't that nice? So let's say you just do view course, which is the most logical thing to do. So chapter 8. This is the week of March 30th through the 15th. We're doing perfect competition. Why perfect competition? Perfect competition and why it matters. That's section 1, 2, 3, 4. So this week there's 40 points of homework. Now if you want to do the review, it's a bonus or extra credit. And then when you accomplish all of these, you can do the quiz. That's all we're doing this week. Next week, chapter 9. You'll see that chapter 9 has 2 sections only. So there's only going to be 20 points of homework. It doesn't mean the content is less, it's just how the book is organized. The bonus, the review is again a bonus, and then there's a chapter 9 quiz. Chapters 10 and 11 take place in the following week. So we're talking about monopolistic competition, oligopoly, and then you have the quiz, and then we talk about mergers, regulating anti-competitive behavior, regulating natural monopolies, and general deregulation experiment. And then there's a quiz on both of those. So there's a quiz at the end of each week. And then in week 12, back doing chapter 12. Week 13, chapter 13, that's the end of the course. So you can work at this at your own pace. There are no more exams in this class because I'm not going to do an online exam. we will continue with our discussions, which will take place of the short answer on the exams and the readings. I might add an extra discussion here or there, and I probably will in this next week, only to capture something from the COVID-19 pandemic that I think is worth talking about. So I will continue to do that. If you go back to the home, you can get out of this by just going home. And you can see if you go to the Gradebook, and I don't want to show everybody's grades. That's not what I want to do here, but let's go over here, way over here. And now we start having the lessons. They're worth 10 points, even though it says out of 100. And don't let that scare you if it doesn't stay that way. So we have all these homeworks, and if we have trouble, they're very helpful in making this go away and changing it to 10 if that's the case. And chapter 13. And then you have the quizzes also that will show up in your gradebook. And if you do it, it automatically populates it. We don't have to do anything. And there we have it. I'll probably put something in here so that we can do our elevator speech online. I want everybody to turn into elevator speech video. And so this is how we're going to do it. Let's go back to the course. Let's go back and see how one of these modules works. So I go to the single sign-on. Let's go to perfect competition and why it matters. You have a learning module, you have a practice module, and you have a certification. You have to get an 82% on this to go to the next one. So if I start the learning, it's basically it's the textbook, parts of the textbook, not even the whole textbook. So you don't even have to read the whole textbook. It gives you the objectives. It shows you the picture. It tells you what a perfectly competitive market is and why it's important, blah, blah, blah. Why they're price takers and monopolies are price makers. And I have a lecture up on this. I don't know if the lecture will even be necessary, but I'll continue to put lectures up. I don't want you to think I'm not helpful anymore. A perfectly competitive firm is a price maker. True. Contracts are an example of a barrier to exit. I don't know, let's say true. A wheat farmer can choose the price he sells his products at. No, he can't. So click next to continue to the practice mode. I hit the wrong next, obviously. I hit the next for Canvas, not the next for the course. So let me go back here. Let me go back to start learn again. I'm learning as we go too. Okay, so what did I say? Perfectly competitive firm is a price maker. No, it's not. Contracts are an example of a barrier to exit. Let's say true. A wheat farmer can choose the price he sells his product at based on his labor and harvest costs. That's false. So click next. Next is right here. I clicked the wrong next, see? So I did the practice. Now I can do the mastery test. This will be scary if I don't do well. Which options best complete the blank in the following sentence? Select the best answer. There is blank entry and exit into and out of perfectly competitive markets. I'm going to say free. I'll submit the answer. And it said fantastic, Mark. Wow, I'm very excited by this. There are 140 firms in a perfectly competitive market. All the firms have the same revenues and total costs and make their output decisions by comparing total revenue and total cost. The table below shows the total revenue, total cost, and profits of a single firm. calculate the total market, total output of this market in the short run. You're going to have to figure out how to do it. If you want to use your calculator, you have it there. You could use your calculator at home. You would put the number of units. So if these are 140 firms in a perfectly competitive markets, all firms have the same total revenue, total costs, and make their output decisions based on comparing total revenue and total cost. Well, where would you want to operate? I'd probably want to operate where the difference, where the profit was the greatest. So if I have, I don't know, let's worry about that later. I'm not going to make a mistake here. And so on. This is how it works. You have 3 saves remaining. Would you like to save this certification? We're going to zoom later. Sure. And okay, you have unlimited tries for that. And then you go on to the next one. It's always learn, a little practice, and certify. Learn, practice, certify, and then you have a quiz at the end of that. So follow along, and it's not hard. And you have unlimited tries, remember, for the chapter sections, and 2 tries for the chapter quiz. If we go back home, and we go into the sync tool, you'll see all of your names are already here. And none of you have linked in yet, obviously. I've linked all of you guys in. If I look at assignment grades, or let's just look at assignments. I'm learning this as we go. There's all these assignments. Here's the lessons. And there's lots of them, but there's one for each section of the book, so it's not that bad. And then here's the quizzes. And there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So I hope this is something that will work out for us, because I'm kind of excited. I think it makes your life at home easier. You can work now at your own pace. You could be done with the class, at least in homework-wise, earlier if you get it all done. For the next week, I have a video lecture for Chapter 8 in there. I'm going to take the supplemental problems. I can leave those up if you want, I guess. They're not required. But I'm going to take the homework. I'm going to make it unpublished. And the homework for Chapter 9, I'm going to make unpublished. We're only doing Chapter 8 anyway. I will continue with the discussion. We'll still do the discussion. It's still going to be worth 10 points. And we're not going to do Chapter 9 this week, because I think we're doing Chapter 9 the following week. So what I'm going to do right now is open this week up. And of course it highlighted everything, so I want to take no exam 3, no Chapter 9 homework, no Chapter 9 solutions, no Chapter 8, no Chapter 8. Well, Chapter 8 supplement problems. If you want to do it, you're more than welcome to. But we will still have the discussion. And what is the discussion about? Read the Wall Street Journal and FDA articles about almonds posted in Canvas. And here are 3 questions to answer based on what we have learned so far. Provide a good microeconomic summary of what just happened in this industry. Why are the San Joaquin Valley farmers switching from raisins to almonds? What is the cost of exit/entry? Do you believe in such a scenario that it is inevitable that a glut will occur? So that's the assignment. Let's go back. And here's some articles to read. Raisins to almonds, and about those nutty almond investors, and the USDA almond forecast in 2019. You'd want to read those 3 to do this discussion. So there's your homework for this week. If you miss me a lot, you can still watch a lecture on perfectly competitive markets before you even capture the homework. I will replace these sections here, which are now unpublished, with do the homework in the Hawks Learning for Chapter 8 and the Chapter 8 quiz. Thank you very much.